All right, you know what it is. I promised to tell you about the Ray Brook joint. You know what I mean? When I got the Ray Brook. I mean, that joint was 20 below zero up there. All right, so that's where we're going to begin. We're going to begin with the Ray Brook joint. All right.
Hi guys, welcome to Platinum Cuisines. We're located on the Nautical Mile in Freeport.
Tune in to unique Mecca audio.
All right. Unique Make Audio, man. Chilling. I'm going to tell you about the Ray Brook joint. But before I get into the Ray Brook joint, make sure you like, subscribe, and the Cash App is on the screen. All right? Now, cop your book of Roy and Harlem. You want to know what happened back in the day. All right? Official. If you're my subscriber, subscribe, whatever. Cop your book of Roy and Harlem. All right? Now, we're going to get into this. I get the Ray Brook. They got me on a bus, taking me up from Lewisburg. So now they take me from Lewisburg up to Ray Brook, and they got me in the back of this bus, like a school bus, and it got a metal divider, like a metal fence type thing in the bus to keep us back so we can't get to the offices, and we handcuffed and shackled, like this. They had me handcuffed and shackled to the back of the joint. Like I said, it broke my wrist up. We get there to Ray Brook. And when we get to Ray Brook, soon as we get there, they call somebody on his cell phone. It's 2007, so I wasn't too familiar with cell phones, but they had a walkie-talkie that they called on. They got the dude to come out there. So now here come these white shirts come out there. The white shirts is usually like the lieutenants. In the feds, they got lieutenants. In the state, they got sergeants and then lieutenants. But they bypassed the sergeants in the feds and went right to lieutenants. So all them come piling up, and they have a little powwow outside the joint. I know it's about me, because Lewisburg already said that I was banned from going there for life, so I wasn't even supposed to be there. So they had a special trip day before Thanksgiving. So picture how you spend your Thanksgivings. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you one on how I spend my Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving Day. But right now, this is day before Thanksgiving. We get to Ray Brook, and when we get there, they let us out the joint, and they call me first. So as soon as I get up out there, they rush me in and they take me to this little ass cell. You know what I mean? Little cell. It's freezing. It's daytime. The sun is out. The sun is bright. You know what I mean? You'll think it's like 80 degrees the way the sun feel while you're on the bus. But the bus, they had the AC on because they was trying to freeze me out because I had the handcuffs on my wrist. So they was just making it inconvenient. And that's how they made that's how they gave me a lifetime scar on my wrist. When y'all see me, ask about the scars. And I'll let you see the scars from this trip. But they call me off the bus and take me right into this little cold ass cell. I get in the cell, and I'm asking them like, yo, why am I here? My points drop. I'm supposed to be in the medium security prison. You know what I mean? And they said, yeah, well, welcome to USP Ray Brook. You know what I mean? I said, USP Ray Brook. They said, yeah, that's what we call it because it be rocking and rolling here. There's stabbings and everything that go on in the USP is going on over here. I found out once I got out there that was a disciplinary joint for the West Coast, gangbangers. So the Serenos, the Border Brothers, you know what I mean? The MA, everything they sent over there, if you mess up in the West Coast, in the medium, and your points is still a medium. So that's why it was rocking and rolling, because they was on some straight man time as far as representing, the codes of gang banging. So if you youngins want to talk about you gang banging and all that, y'all need to pay attention to this. And this will let you know that this ain't what you're trying to get into. But we get up out there, and they put me in a hole, But everybody else that came with me on the bus, like 40 dudes, you know what I mean? They put all them on the compound, but they got me in the hole. You know what I mean? So now I'm asking them, yo, what's going on? They like, yo, we got to keep you here for evaluation. I said, evaluation for what? You know what I mean? And they said, nah, because, you're labeled as violent. You done started a riot. You done stabbed 2 police. You done brought drugs in the institution. So our SIS, which is the Security Investigation Service or something like that. Special Investigation Service is what SIS stand for in the feds. That's like the detectives or the FBI for the prison compound. In any prison you go to, they call SIS. Now, the next morning, the SIS come see me, and they don't say nothing to me. They just let me out. You know what I mean? No speech, no lecture, no nothing. They let me out. I go on the compound. So now they put me in a unit, Niagara. I was in Niagara B. You know, my man Frankie, my man T. Big shout out to T. Now I'm gonna have to tell you about T. This might be a little lengthy. Y'all like it when I go a little lengthy on it. So this definitely gonna be about 30 minutes. Now, when they let me out there, you had a light-skinned dude named T, had curly hair, and he was from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? You know, I come there, I got a name, everybody know who Unique is from Club 2000, Mecca Audio, so it was a big deal when I got on the compound. But this dude, he came from up north, and he was a big deal because he came from the state system to the federal system. But here I go now, I come and I'm stealing his shine. Big shout out to T. You know what I mean? If anybody know where T is, or, you know, T watch this, get at me, because this is going to be a real interesting story about me and T. So when I come, everybody crowding around me, they want to hear the war stories and all that, just like y'all listen to my war stories. So, you know, that's how I learned to tell them some good, because I used to have to tell them in the prison. But T come to me now, and he's standing around when everybody else around, they asking me questions, and, you know, I'm telling them stories, and, you know, we bonding, having a good old time. And then I know where, you know, T started hating. You know what I mean? Yeah, T started hating, you know, because I'm stealing his shine, you know. But he couldn't stand me worth a crap. You know what I mean? I keep it 100. You know what I mean? Just like I, you know, kept it 100. I told you about, you know, Guy Fisher, you know what I mean, and Underwood. You know what I mean? They was my old heads. Big shout out to them. They helped a lot with my transformation and didn't even know that they did it. You know what I mean? But good men, good men. But now, T sitting there, and everything I say out my mouth, I see him frowning, and he don't like it. You know what I mean? So I talked to my man Frankie from the Polo Grounds. Big shout out from Frankie. I think his last name Sanchez, but y'all know Frankie down with Carlos, Kenny, you know what I mean, and the whole nine. You know what I mean? They was down in Baltimore. But, you know, they got caught up, got life sentences too. They came home, alhamdulillah, big shout outs to them, you know, God is good. So Frankie telling me, he said, yo, you need to open up a store. You know what I mean? So I opened up a little store and shit. So when I open the store up, I'm doing straight cash. Cause remember, I'm there around, you know, Thanksgiving time. So everybody getting their little Thanksgiving money, but I do cash. You got to come with your stamps. If you ain't got no stamps, don't come see me. You know what I mean? So, you know, dudes come out. I go to the store. I buy $250, maybe $300 worth of, you know, cookies, chips, sodas. You know what I mean? I buy a little bit of everything, but I'm running the store and I go in the unit. And there's other stores in the unit, but the other stores is doing credit. So the way they work it in the credit is, pay attention. The way they do it with the credit is, you know, you get a bag of chips, you're supposed to go to the store and buy him back 2 chips. And, you know, dude come through the week and he might get $20 worth of food, and he's supposed to get you back $40 worth of food. But they hit one store man to the next store man to the next store man, and they run up debts all over the place, and they think it's funny. So then when it's time to pay, they pay whoever they, you know, they respect more, or they feel they'll get a problem from not paying their money with. But to prevent having to go through that, being I'm coming from maximum security prison down to a medium security prison, I'm doing straight cash. You know, of course, at first they didn't like it, but, you know, what could they do? You know what I mean? So they turn around now, and Frankie, my man, he come to me and he wanted a bag of chips. I said, yo, nah, I'm doing straight cash. He's like, nah, but I'm the homie. I'm from Polo Grounds. We from Polo Grounds. We all from Harlem. Blah, blah, blah. I said, but I don't care nothing about that. This is business, my niggas. It's like on the street, cash and carry. No cash, no carry. You know what I mean? So Frankie, you know, he went, got his stuff from somebody else. They gave him the credit. And then when it was store day come, everybody come to me because they looking at me as the big homie now and telling me, yo, your man, oh, he didn't pay, da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, you know, you gave a 2-month credit, that's on you. You know what I mean? But Frankie always made sure he gave everybody a little bit of something because he wasn't no cruddy dude. Let's get that right. Frankie was on man time. But if he owed $200-$300 and they only let you spend $200-$300 on the commissary, you still got to put something in your locker. So that means you're only going to pay, you know, $150 out of that. So you're going to give everybody a little something to keep everybody happy. That's how big Frankie did it. But then now, Frankie came to me and he sat me down. He said, Unique, you're a smart man. I said, why you say that? He said, because everybody been hitting these store men. They go to one store man, get their stuff. And when they get their stuff, They go over to the next store man, you know what I mean? Get some stuff. The next store man gets some stuff, and they go to all the different store men and just run up tabs and then pay them what they want to pay them. But being that you getting cash, you're going to last the longest. You know what I mean? And if you played hardball with me and I'm your homie, I mean, I know you're going to last because these dudes ain't nothing nice. You know what I mean? So, you know, when it was store day, you know, payday after my first week with the store, I doubled my money, spent $300, made $600, you know, little penitentiary rich, you know what time it is. You know what I mean? I told y'all about that. So then now, we doing our thing. I go down to the, they call me in the unit team. I go in the unit team, and when I go in the unit team, there's this big old racist white boy in there. You know what I mean? Yeah, I said white boy. You know what I mean? Because he's federal police, so I call him a boy. It's not to disrespect, you know, the white men. You know what I mean, that I'm doing time with. I'm talking about these boys, to me, is boys. When you're talking about the administration, I don't respect them. You know what I mean? So, you know, this way it is. So I rolled up in a joint, and when I went in there, there was no, there was a phone open on the other side of the unit that belonged to Niagara A, but I was in Niagara B. So I went over there to Niagara A to go check out my man. I think Team was over there. Rest in peace to Team from 112th Street. I go over there to go holler at my man Team. So when I'm over there talking to Team, we mentioned somebody, and he said, man, matter of fact, call him. So I just walked in the phone booth on his side of Niagara A. I made the phone call and, you know, didn't think nothing of it. Then they called me in there for my little meeting. You know, when you first come, now this way you get the lecture. So as soon as I go in there, the white dude is talking to me real serious and looking at me like, you know, like I stole something. He's like, yeah, you know, I'm telling you now, this is not the compound for that. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, for what? He's like, yo, I already saw your record. They ain't supposed to let you on the compound. They should have never brought you up here, but they brought you up here, so we got to deal with you. So I'm thinking he playing and just playing the tough guy role. Like, I don't look like no sucker for you to sit there talking to like this. So I'm laughing. So he said, oh, it's funny? And I said, yeah, it's funny. He said, what's so funny? I said, yo, you talking to me like you real strong like that. You know what I mean? This dude like maybe 6'8", big old country fed, you know, white dude, you know? So I'm like, man, I don't care nothing about that. You know what I mean? And he said, you know what? You ain't gonna last on this compound. I can see you now with your hands cuffed behind your back and then walking you up that hill straight to the chute. That's the special housing unit. So I said, yeah, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? They ain't paying no mind. So I go in there and he said, look, I should give you an incident report because you used the phone on the other side of the unit. You know what I mean? On the Niagara A side, and you're just supposed to use on Niagara B side. I said, well, I don't know. I just got off the bus 5 minutes. He said, man, I don't care nothing about that. And I said, well, I don't care nothing about your rules then. You know what I mean? And he said, oh, you one of them. I said, nah, you one of them. You know what I mean? He said, what you mean by that? I said, you old big old racist white boy, man. I don't like you. You don't like me. We don't need to play these games. Let's get right to the goddamn point. What are we going to do right now? Because I don't like you right off the rip. And I know you don't like me. So this is what I suggest we do. You stay out my way, and I'm going to stay out your way. Oh, that blew his mind. He ain't never seen a black boy talk to him like that. You know what I mean? Black boy talk about stay out my way and all this old crap. You know what I mean? So he see me in the unit team, you know, he let me go because he knew I wasn't trying to have it. So I go back in the unit. And then now while I'm in the unit, I see this dude. He come in. I might tell us another story later, but I'm going to just touch on it. I seen a dude from, you know, came in there and said he was from Virginia. You know what I mean? He said his name. You understand? But I didn't, you know, you know, but he said like his name was, you know, Angelo. Y'all know who I'm talking about from Norfolk because he was a cold rat. You know what I mean? Testified against me. But that wasn't the name I know him as on the street. He got a street name. You know what I mean? So I didn't pay no mind. And, you know, this is 2006, 2007. About it, this was 2006 Thanksgiving, right? So this dude turns around and he tells me he's from Norfolk. And he said his name was Angelo. I don't know Angelo from Norfolk. So I didn't pay no mind. You know what I mean? I went about doing my business. So then now, the next day I go down to the rec yard. I'm in the rec yard. And, you know, I go down there. My man Team, like I said, from Niagara A, rest in peace, 112th Street, Slick and the family, Big Gene and the whole crew. You know what I mean? Rambo, Sasquatch, you know what I mean? Let's not forget them. Edie, I mean, you know, Hannibal. That's the 12th Street crew. Cold men. They call them no fit because they got no fit for nothing. But that's where Team was from. So he worked in the weight room. So if y'all was in Ray Brook, y'all remember Big Team worked in the weight room, used to give out the weight bars and the equipment and stuff like that to use the universal basketballs and things. So I'm in there with Big Team, and we hanging out in there, and he got a little TV with a VCR, and we watching karate movies, and we step outside, we smoke a joint, we come back in, we good and high. You know me, I go send for my White Lightning, I'm drinking my White Lightning, I'm chilling with Team up in a joint. Then they call me up to the lieutenant office, to the SIS office. So I go to the SIS office, and when I go up in there, they said, "Oh, you've been here a week, and we just getting to you because you came here doing Thanksgiving. So here's your card." They gave me a little card, looked like a ID laminated card, and they said, "This your check-in card." I said, "Check-in? I ain't never checked in nothing." And he said, "No, you got to check in with the officer every 2 hours." I said, "Why I got to do that?" He said, "No, because you got a kingpin charge. You done stabbed the police. You done went to 88. You done brought drugs into jail." I said, "So did 90% of the other niggas in here. That's what we do. We criminals and you cops." You know what I mean? And he said, "Yeah, well, the way us cops watch you criminals on this compound is we give you this 2-hour check-in card, and every 2 hours you got to report to an officer." And I had a number on it. My number was 93. So I had to go to the officer, and the officer would call what they call our Sable. That's another unit up there at Ray Brook. Y'all at Ray Brook remember our Sable. So you go up in our Sable, and so I go to the officer, show him my card, and he'll say 93, checking in. He's at the rec department. You know what I mean? So now they do that. And 10 minutes later, they calling me to the lieutenant office. So I go over to the lieutenant office, and I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" And they're like, "Oh, you didn't check in?" I said, "Nah, I checked in. The officer called and checked me in." And they said, "Nah, he ain't check you in." I said, "Yes, he did. I was standing right there, and I heard our Sabre report back affirmative, or affirmative or whatever." You know what I mean? They said, "Well, he ain't call you in. Cuff him up." And they took me to the shoe. You know what I mean? When I checked in. So I had to sit up in there for the weekend. You know what I mean? So now I stayed Thanksgiving in the hole. Now here it is, right after Thanksgiving, they put me back up in the hole. You know what I mean? So I came back out the hole when I went to, they had unit team on Thursdays. They come through, they give you the unit team review, and they sanction you. And it's a bullshit charge. The charge might be 10 hours extra duty. You know what I mean? Where you got to sweep up paper or something minimum that I wasn't doing no goddamn way. You know what I mean? So they gave me a little extra duty, so I come out and, I tell the police in the unit when they call me to do the extra duty, "Man, I'm not doing none of that crap. Y'all could lock me back up." You know what I mean? And the police thought it was funny. He said, "Man, yo, you ain't gonna last here because these other inmates don't move like that." I said, "Well, that's the difference. I'm not an inmate. I'm a convict." You understand what I'm saying? And there's a difference between an inmate and a convict. An inmate does what he's supposed to do, and a convict do what the hell he want to do. I'm telling you, I don't want to do no extra duty. I'm not going to do no extra duty. So if you want to lock me up, because the shooting me is nothing more than another part of the jail. So the police sat me down. He said, "Look, man, I ain't going to write you up. I'm just going to mark you off that you did 2 hours a day, and every day you just come see me, and I'll give you the 2 hours because I like you because you on some man time." He said, "But trust me, every part of this jail is not like every other jail." I said, "We talking about?" He said, "Man, we got a shoe in the back, because it get 20 below zero, and it ain't nothing nice in that cell because there's no heat." You know what I mean? 20 below zero, and they got a joint with no heat. You know what I mean? And the joint be flooding. I'm going to give you the details on that. So now we in the joint, and it's flooding. You know what I mean? I go back, and now here comes Christmas time. Christmas time come. On Christmas Eve, I'm chilling, working out my man team again in the gym. Team Tone, Big Un from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? We doing our thing. So after we go work out in the joint, the dude turns around now, and it was time for 2-hour check-in. So I go to the officer and I check in. I said, "Yo, officer, inmate hall checking in, number 93. He takes my card. He calls our Sable, go through the routine. Boom, they confirm that they got me at the thing, so they know where I'm at, because they want to know where I'm at all times. So every 2 hours they watch me, because they got fences there that you could actually see the street. So they figure old convict like me with life, you know what I mean, that done stabbed 2 police, wound up in 88, brought drugs in the jail, going to try and utilize that fence to manipulate the system some type of way, so that I could elevate, my criminal activity." And this when I was still into my criminal activity, but I ain't there no more. And that's why I'm telling you, youngins, don't get involved, because you don't want to have to go through what I went through. I was labeled and blackballed everywhere I went. You understand what I'm saying? They had a red flag by my name ever since I had that ride in Lewisburg, because they figure ain't no black man or ain't no inmate, you know what I mean, supposed to be fighting the system. You know what I mean? Most is putting their hands on the police. So they want to know wherever I'm at all times. So that Christmas Eve, I check in, and 10 minutes later, they call me lieutenant office, same routine, took me back to the shoe, waiting the hole, come back out. Boom, Christmas Eve. Now, New Year's is a week later. So I chilled out with team and them after I come out the hole from the Christmas Eve joint. I spent Thanksgiving in the hole, Christmas in the hole, and then here it comes New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, same goddamn thing. You know what I mean? I checked in. They said they ain't have me checked in. They locked my ass back up for New Year's. So then now, I come back out and team's rec supervisor, he liked me. He dig my style. He wanted to give me a job in the rec and all that, but I wasn't looking for no rec. You know what I mean? I'm hustling off the land. Hustle off the land. I mean, I'm selling whatever I can sell. I got my store. You know what I mean? I'm buying weed from dudes, bringing it in. You know what I mean? Dope, whatever they bringing in, and I'm bagging it up. I'm still doing me. You know what I mean? Not bragging about it and telling y'all it wasn't worth it, because look at the end result to this bull crap. So now, supervisor said, this is what we're going to do. From now on, when you got to check in, you come to me while the rec is open, and I'll make sure I tell them that you checked in, and I'm going to stamp it. And I'm not going to let them play the games you didn't check in like they did my other officers that work for me, because it ain't right what they doing to you. You don't bother nobody. You come down here, you chill with team every day you come. So it shouldn't be no problem. All right. I said, all right, cool. So then now, New Year's Eve, you know what I mean? Like I said, they done lock me up. When I come out, dude give me that little speech. So then now, a week later, I'm down at the rec. I go to the dude. I give him my card. He called all sable. Yo, 93 checking in. You know what I mean? Said, all right. They said they got me. Then here we go. 10 minutes later, they pick me up. Now they put me in the shoe again. 4 goddamn jobs, you know what I mean, in less than 2 months, in a month, really, in a month and a couple of days. So I went to the hole 4 times, man. I had to spend all holidays in the hole. So right around the end of January, they let me ride for like 2 weeks without harassing me. And then now I'm chilling. I signed up for a computer class. This is how I learned how to do this YouTube stuff. They had beautiful classes up at Ray Brook, beautiful classes. So I go up there and I sign up to this class, but they got this building that, was part of the Unicor or something, but now they're using it for a school building, but it don't have no speakers in it. But that morning they had me on the call out to go to medical at 8 o'clock. And then I had class at also at like 8:30, you know what I mean? And I really liked the class, but I had to go to medical. I go down to medical. And when I go to medical, they tell me, okay, it was just initial check-in. So you free to go, or you could wait till the next move. I said, nah, the move's still on. They said, yeah. So I said, all right, you know what I mean? I'm going to go back over there to the school, you know what I mean? So, if they call looking for me, let them know that I'm at the school instead of here, because I already seen you. And she said, no problem, I'll write you down. What's your name and, your number? So I give her my name and my number, 93. She writes it down on the little calendar right in front of me, because I made sure she did that, because I already knew they was on my line. So I go over there to the school, and I'm up in the school, and I'm getting all into my computer class, and I'm doing me, and I'm having fun, and I'm thinking about coming home, running this YouTube, and you know what I mean, and just doing me, you know what I mean, just making fun. I didn't know what the hell YouTube was back then, but it was teaching us how to use the Microsoft Word and all of that, and I was learning to type a little faster. So I'm over there in the joint, and then they called the jail lockdown, and they had an emergency census count. Emergency census count when somebody come up missing. So they had it locked down, but I'm cool. I'm in the computer class. They pull us out the computer class, searchers put us back in the room, and I'm back to work, and jail still locked down. And, then they finally cleared the count. And when they cleared the count, I go back to the unit, because it was 10 o'clock now. So now my class is over. I go to the unit, and my man Frankie and T said, yo, they've been looking for you. They locked your door. I said, nah, I was at the school. You know what I mean? He said, nah, they said they called you to the lieutenant office. I said, man, I ain't hear them call me. He said, yeah, they called you on the speaker. I said, all right, well, let me go see the police. He said, man, they're going to lock you up. I said, man, I don't care about no lockups. I go see the police. I said, yo, what's up? You looking for me home? And he said, yeah, you know what I mean? Go to the visiting hall. You know what I mean? Ain't no visit. It's on a Monday, Tuesday or some shit. I said, all right. So my man already told me that they were looking for me for the check-in. So when I get to the joint, I go back down to the visiting hall, which was connected to the medical department where I had to go for my 8 o'clock appointment. So I stopped back in at my 8 o'clock appointment, and I let them know at my 8 o'clock appointment, but this is at 10 o'clock. I said, remember when I said 8 o'clock, I gave you my name, look on your cat. I said, yeah, I remember you right here, you circled. I called our Sable, let them know. I said, because they're going to try and play games like I didn't check in. She said, no, they can't do that, you know what I mean, because I checked you in. I said, yeah, all right. Just remember that I'm telling you that I checked in. So, here comes the SIS come walking in the medical. So when they walk in the medical, they see me, they escort me through the medical into the visiting hall. Y'all know how Ray Brook Medical connected to the visiting hall. So I go up in the visiting hall. When I go up in the visiting hall, it's about 8 big-ass, burly white boys up in there. You know what I mean? And I'm the only nigga. You know what I mean? Come walking up in there. So I walk up in there, and they all at the desk, and, I could tell they was talking about me, and, I walked right up to the desk. I said, what's up? And he said, where was you at? Where was you at? And he trying to yell all in my face. I said, look, man, I ain't trying to hear that crap. I was over there at medical, man. You know what I mean? Call the lady at the desk at medical. I just verified it with her. She verified it, said for you to call her, man. I ain't trying to hear that. So there was this cool other young white boy. You know what I mean? Normal looking dude, Italian that worked there. You know what I mean? That was with the SIS, but he was younger than the more big racist ones, right? So the young dude, he take me and he said, nah, come on. You got to give it urine. So I go in the bathroom, and when I go in the bathroom to go, pee in the cup, dude says, yo, what's up? You know what I mean? He said, man, why you giving us such a hard time? I said, man, I ain't giving y'all no hard time. Y'all giving me a hard time. Y'all keep putting me in the shoe. I'm not putting y'all in the shoe. He said, look, don't say nothing. I looked at your jacket. I already see you on some man time. They trying to break you. When you go out there, don't say nothing because they trying to lock you up, and it's out of my hands. You know what I mean? But I was in there telling them not to lock you up because you was at medical, and he telling them everything because they knew where I was at. You know what I mean? So he said, when you go out there, don't say nothing. You know me and my black ass big mouth. You know what I mean? So I go out there, and as soon as I go out there, I say, yeah, y'all found out. I'm smiling when I'm talking to him. I'm trying to keep a good composure, lessen the blow. So I'm like, y'all found out that I was over there at the medical, right? You know what I mean? And he said, nah, cuff him up. I'm looking like, huh? He said, cuff him up. You know what I mean? So now, here you go, they cuffed me up. It was snowing outside that day. They got me cuffed behind my back, my head down, and they walking me up that hill that big crazy-ass racist white boy told me when I first came in I was going to walk up. You know what I mean? So now I'm like tired of this crap. This is the 5th time they done locked me up for this fake check-in. So they take me up to the shoe, and they put me up in the shoe, and I stayed up there a week. And every week they come do the unit team thing, see what you up there for, give you extra duty and let you out. That first week they came up, they never even caught me. The second week came up, you know what I mean? My unit team finally see me and they said, oh, we referring it to DHO because we found 3,066 loose stamps in your locker. Remember, I'm selling food in there. I got a prison store like everybody else. But, so of course we got stamps, but you're only allowed to have like 5 books of stamps in your possession, and it's 366 stamps, like 18, 20 books or something, which is something like that. Ain't even nothing. You know what I mean? So they tell me that they found that. I had a AA battery box. The box that 4 AA batteries come in. I had 4 stacks of 5 books pushed in the joint, and they added up and said it was like 366 stamps. It was over the limit, and now I got to go to DHO for having contraband. Stamps is contraband. I said, man, y'all sell stamps on the compound. How the hell is this contraband? Oh, this is just contraband to me. You know what I mean? And he said, well, don't worry about it. You're going to DHO. I said, all right. So I'm thinking I'm going to DHO that day, going to come back out the shoe. I go to DHO. And I'm waiting to go to DHO. They don't call me to DHO. So another week come by. It go 3 weeks, going on 4 weeks. I'm back there for a punk ass not checking in when I actually checked in. And then now they telling me I got 366 goddamn stamps and it's a goddamn problem. I'm like, I ain't trying to hear that crap. So now they finally call me to DHO. I go to DHO, and the DHO, this little bald-headed dude, no eyebrows and all that, white dude, military dude. And he telling me, yeah, I was the captain in Lewisburg when you was there and you stabbed that police. I didn't like him anyway. He was a piece of crap. He was racist and he deserved everything you gave him. This is what the police told me. He said, but I'm telling you now, that shit gonna follow you for the rest of your life sentence because they don't take count until you stabbing, police. It just, I know that cop, so I know he's a prick. So I know that he deserved it. And we looked at the camera and you didn't start it. They was trying to kill your man. You trying to help your man, and you wound up stabbing them, trying to defend your man the same way we was trying to defend our own. So I understand it's over, it's done. But now this little charge that you got here, he said, I just seen somebody did held DHO for somebody that had 5 times that amount, like 100 and something books of stamps. You know what I mean? But he said, I went to their unit. They still on the compound. So I don't know why they got you in the shoe. He said, but what I'm going to do is, because I know they just screwing with you, I'm going to give you time served. You know what I mean? And I'm going to release you back to the compound. You know what I mean? Because he asked me, was it mine? And you know what I mean? Of course, I'm not going to blame it on nobody because I was living in a cell with somebody. So if I would have said it wasn't mine, then that means they would have brought my cellie down there and we both would have had to go deal with the charge. And if I would have played, a sucker, you know what I mean? He would have got locked up and I would have got locked up. So I didn't want my cellie to get locked up. So I said, yeah, it was my stamps, man. So he said, I'm gonna give you some good advice and I'm gonna release you back to the compound. He said, man, they don't want you on this compound. Walk on eggshells and walk a fine line. Because whatever you do, they're gonna lock you up. You know what I mean? I said, I go back up in the cell. So now they calling everybody to go back to the compound. You know what I mean? From in the shoe. So they call Rivera, you know what I mean? Johnson, Jackson, Moore, Davis, Green, Kelly, Wood, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, what about Hall? You know what I mean? And they're like, nah, no Hall on the list. I'm like, just saw DHO, I'm supposed to be getting released. They said, nah, ain't no Hall on the list. I said, oh man, come on with this crap. You know what I mean? So now they go through and then here it is, they let all of them out, but then they had to walk through from the warden, the unit manager, unit team, they all come walking through after DHO. So I said, look, I saw DHO, I'm supposed to be getting out the hole. You know what I mean? And they said, nah, you're under investigation. I said, investigation for what? I pled guilty to the punk ass books of stamps. That's all y'all had on me. And you said I didn't check in. He said, nah, it's bigger than that. You gotta wait for us to finish the investigation. I said, investigation for what? I ain't even trying to bring no dope in the joint yet. You know what I mean? I ain't even crank up. I ain't even think about cranking up. I've been respecting your compound. This is what I'm sitting there telling him. I'm telling him in his face, nigga, I ain't even bring no dope in your joint. I ain't even trying to play y'all yet. What is you talking about? You know what I mean? And he looked at me like I was crazy for telling him that. I said, man, look, I enjoy the cat and mouse game. You try and catch me, and I try and get over on you. That's the game. You catch me, we go from there. You know what I mean? You don't, we go from there. But I'm not going to sit in your compound, not do nothing to make $2 and waste my goddamn time having idle. So youngins, I'm telling you, this mentality was screwed up, and that's how I wound up doing all that goddamn time in federal penitentiary up in a maximum security prison. And I'm telling you, it's not worth it. So don't get involved in it. So don't say nobody never told you, because I could use that lame ass excuse, but I'm not going to use it. You know what I mean? Because that don't fly. You know what I mean? I know better. You know what I mean? But anyway, so they turn around and a week later, they come back again. And I'm like, yo, what's up? And are I getting released? And they said, nah, we got to talk to the unit team. So they called me out the office. They called me out the joint. How long is this on so far? Oh, man, it's 30 minutes, man. So, I'm going to tell you how that joint go later on. I ain't going to give it to y'all right now. So I know y'all get mad when I leave you hanging, but joint already 30 minutes. But if y'all want to know what happened, why they had me on the investigation, you know what I mean? When I done went to DHO, got sanctioned for the goddamn books of stamps, all that shit was over. But then now they got me in a hole for an investigation, a shot that everybody else gets, stay on the compound, but they got me back in the shoe, you know what I mean? For over a month, you know what I mean? And then now they sitting there. Yeah, I said, nah, I mean, so get mad all you want and hit the like button. Now, so we sitting in there, and if you want to hear the rest of this about, why they had me on the investigation, I didn't even get into, and I still got to give y'all part 2 without y'all asking, because y'all did ask. I'm going to give you the part 2 about being in the cell. I'm going to drop this right now today on Monday, you know what I mean? And tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm going to drop the joint. I'm going to drop the joint about, about that cold ass cell they got 20 below with no heat, how I survived in that. You want to know how I survived in that joint? Y'all already told me you did. But let me know if you want to hear about this other crap, why they had me on the investigation and how that shit played out. And I just tied them all in. But right now, I'm about to just tap out. But remember, man, cop the book of Rowan Harlem, man. You a subscriber? You know what I mean? Cop the book, show me your receipt. You cop the book and you representing. Let's keep this movement going, man. You know what I mean? At rowanharlem.com. At rowanharlem.com. So don't say I didn't tell you. We in there and we going to do what we got to do, man. All right? So this is where we at right now.
Hi guys, welcome to Platinum Cuisines. We're located in Freeport on the Nordica Mile. Just wanted to introduce my partner, Amy.
Hi guys, how are you? And this is my sister-in-law, Diana, another partner. I just ask that you come support our minority-owned business. We serve Asian fusion, Caribbean cuisine, and we have a beautiful restaurant located on the Nautical Mile in Freeport, New York. And we're asking that you come check us out and also make sure to tune in to Mecca Audio TV.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
What?
Fresh out the can of 26,
Yeah.
Heat back on the strip, getting back in the mix.
Yeah.
What he mentions a gift.
Trust.
You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this.
Real.
Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom,
Facts.
came up from the bottom.
Facts.
Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit.
Yeah.
Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn.
Real.
Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated